That's why I'm here. I wouldn't be here if that hadn't happened, right? And they treated me as if I was important. I was not neglected. I was given a sense of curiosity about things. I was given an education that, you know, I mean, I temporarily apparently died at birth and had to be resuscitated because of a shock my mother got. And she felt bad about that, little Baptist lady that she was. And so she really read to me a lot because she wanted my brain to not be damaged. So I got a lot of attention, a lot of nurturing. And so that's why I'm here today, and also grandparents and beyond. You've probably seen it that in the last 400 years, is it? That 4,000 people have to conceive exactly who they conceive, exactly when they did it, in order for each one of us to be here.
Wow.
That's how far out it spreads, right? So I'm here because of those 4,000 people. Y'all are too. And so here we are. So at one point in my life, which was an anniversary of a difficult time, and we're going to have some recall healing classes here so that everybody can see their biology timelines and begin to predict when something difficult is on the way. And then when we see it ahead of time, it's like, oh, look at that. I can do something about that. Okay. I was in a difficult time, and someone referred me to Hal Robinson in Kerrville. And Hal taught me this, and it really saved me from a real deep depression. And so I will reenact it, what Hal did with me. So my big polarity was with my father. I resented my father, and I know none of y'all have ever resented one of your parents. And I know that's why y'all are here. Y'all are all nice, meditating people, and you've never had a resentment against your mom or your dad or your grandma or grandpa. But I had a fierce resentment toward my father. So Hal asked me to imagine my father sitting in an empty chair. And I mean, my brain was going like, wow, this is, I mean, okay, I'll pretend for you, right? Were any of y'all raised with imagination games like this? Anybody? You played imagination games? Who else played Okay, so a few people played imagination games. So I'm sitting here and Hal's asking me to visualize my father in the empty chair, and then he said, "Just tell your dad what you'd like to tell him that you never said." I thought I can pretend that too. So I kind of let it out, you know, like what I felt. But I was really too depressed to let him have it. I felt really sad. So, you know, it was kind of like, oh, you should have been better, you should, you know, maybe she hadn't been so mean and spanked me and things like that, you know. And it was kind of like this, mopey. And then he said, well, switch chairs. So I got up and switched chairs because he said so. And I did not notice when I switched chairs that my posture was immediately straight. Mm-hmm. And I had a sense of calmness and peace rather than depression. It took me a while to get it. He had to point out the posture differences, and I went, oh my gosh. And in that little moment, I got back inside of me my attention on my birthright power that had somehow been diverted into a resentment toward him. And it changed my life. And it happened so quickly. And that's what I like about this. We don't have to do a lot of talking. And this is something I can do at home. If I wake up and I'm troubled by something, somebody said something or did something, I get a couple of chairs out. You know, I'm gonna give them the fucking chair. You know, right? You know what I'm saying? And I add in, for myself, I started adding in the heart biofeedback device, which comes from the Institute of Heart Math. And if you guys don't have an M-Wave, I don't sell these, you have to go to Heart Math. Let me say this, I'm not running for office, I'm retired, and I'm not sponsored by anybody. And I'm not here to sell anything. At the end of this, I would like for you to feel like you could do this at home. And you could have a conversation with a rejected part of yourself. You could have a conversation with an illness, with a relative, and you know who we make the most money off of? See, I'm going into high coherence. The Gestalt people make the most money off the politicians. Man, people hate the politicians, right? See, so I'm in high coherence. So when you see this thing go green, the heart is open, right? So this is my heart path. And if you ever played that game as a kid where someone would hide an object and then they would say cold, warm, hot, like when you'd get close to it, that's what this does. So when I'm getting like right on it, it's green. If I'm not on the heart path, it turns red. So when I'm sitting here in the chair, giving somebody the chair, I can tell if I'm on my heart path with what I'm saying to this other polarity, or if I'm not. And then I get to see what it's like to come over here and be in the other polarity. If I'm red over there and I turn green being here, it's like, wow, it's time to be this one and talk back to me. So I use this as a little guide if I don't have a facilitator. So my friend Hal said he made so much money on George Bush and, back in the day, and Obama and Clinton and Trump. And bottom line, people just thought their life could not work as long as this person was in charge of the nation, right? So you just put them in the chair and let them have it. And it changes things. So I would like for y'all to have a chance to feel that in your body, because my words are one thing, but when you feel it in your body, you get it. Even if the head never understands a word about polarities, once the body gets it, we're good. You can always do this. And in those rare occasions where someone doesn't come to a reconciliation between these two, I invite them to stand in the facilitator spot and observe both the polarities. And for some people, this is their heart spot. They can see themselves wrestling with their illness, and they can have compassion for both. They can see themselves wrestling with that parent, they have compassion for both. And so we ask the person, where is your mood the best, and where does your body feel the best, and where is your highest coherence? And that's what we look for. So when we get started here, if somebody has an issue that they would like to work with, we can work with it this way. We'll turn the camera off, basically, after you sit in the chair, and I'll just ask you, like, if you want to tell me who it is or what it is, so that I can maybe facilitate some words. But that'll be off, and no one will know, if you're talking to your mom or President Biden or, your ex. That's a big one there for a lot of us. Your kids, your parents, no one will know. And then when you do the sentences, it'll all be kind of anonymous. So, anonymous is good. It's going green. So, if anybody brought an issue today that they would like to work with or experiment with, and you can always stop in the middle of it. If you go, you know what, I don't think this is for me today. Yes. It's perfectly fine. In fact, when I would be sitting doing the Gestalt with Hal and it wasn't going anywhere, he would say, look at me, Rich, and tell me, I'm not going to do this work today and you can't make me. And as soon as I would say that to him, my power would come back. That's what we're after. We want you to leave with your power intact, right? Not all fragmented off.
It is Gestalt.
Yeah, this is called Open Chair Gestalt. You can look it up on the internet. You'll see lots of, reenactments and people talking about it. Usually psychotherapists do it. Don't wait till you have a certificate to do it. Certificates, I don't know about those things. We can give them the chair, in fact. all the bureaucracies. And so if you have something useful to offer, offer it, you know, offer it. So does anyone have a polarity that they want to work with today? And if not, we'll switch to the Byron Katie worksheet. You have one? Would you like to come have a seat? We can turn the camera off now. So in the exercise we just did, a person sat here, visualized someone they're in relationship with, spoke their truth about that person, and then I moved that chair closer to them, and they felt discomfort in the body. So we spoke about that, and then I tried the other maneuver, which is to have that person leave the relationship. Does that feel better or worse? And there was confusion in both. So I asked the person to stand in the place of the facilitator and see both of them, both herself and the person she's in relationship with. And her sentence was, I have my power here. So whenever we do this exercise at home with the facilitator or with the M-Wave, we want to find which of these three places I have the most power in. And that's where I want to stay for that day. And if my power feels like it's draining away, I can get the chairs out and do it again. So that's the idea, and thank you for that. And does anyone else want to work with a polarity? Responsible for my feelings, right? You need to behave differently in order for me to be okay. And it was a giddy kind of not centered personality. And then the person came over here and just sat here and was calm and went into high coherence on their heart monitor. And then when we became giddy again, everything went away. So we went back to this chair and then came back again here. And in this one, the sentence is, I'm responsible for my own feelings. This is my calmness. It took a while to sit here and breathe into it, but then the high coherence came back on the heart monitor, meaning that my heart and my subconscious are lining up. And I'm reprogramming an old program that tells me other people are responsible for my feelings. Okay. Does anyone else have polarity? Katie?
I'm nervous about this. It's pretty charged.
Okay, let's see if the earlobe gets something. And if it does, great. If not, we'll just take it off.
My fingers are cold.
Cold fingers, yeah. Yeah. Well, thanks for doing this. Everybody in the group gets something, you know, when anybody moves some energy, it's healing for the whole group. So we're just going to take this off today. And, yeah. Okay. All right. And do we have any Kleenex in the room? Does anybody? No.
It's okay. I won't use them.
Okay, you probably won't use them, she says. Okay. All right. Well, when you're ready, tell me if you'd be willing to imagine this person in the chair here.
How do I imagine this if it's a place that I'm living that I believe takes my energy? And there's
Okay.
also a person there whose frequency I believe takes my energy. And there's a
Okay.
woman who comes in and dominates a frequency again.
So it's two people in a house,
She doesn't live there.
but
He
it's two
does.
different people and a house.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is the more powerful influence of the three?
The space.
Okay, all right. So tell me if you would visualize your living space. And whatever comes up to you will be exactly right for today.
And say what I think of it.
How would you describe it for the group here?
I think that you are ugly, disorganized, powerless, filthy, disgusting, dishonorable, disrespectful, and you don't understand how to be the beauty that you are. And I hate you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Maybe some more colorful language.
Yeah. I hate you because I feel.
Like I want to die when I'm around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So just notice, stay with that feeling. Just tell me how this is. It looks like sadness.
Very sad.
Mm-hmm. So tell this space, when you get close to me,
When you get close to me, I feel sad.
yes. I can't seem to find joy.
And I can't seem to find my joy.
Okay, and then just see what happens with this.
It feels clear, but I feel like maybe I lost something.
Mm-hmm. So tell this one, when you leave, I feel like I'm losing something.
When you leave, I feel like I'm losing something.
So which is more difficult, it being close or leaving? Hard to tell.
The leaving makes me feel like I would like topple over, which feels very challenging.
Okay,
Sad is more familiar
okay.
for me.
So when you leave, I'm going to topple over.
When you leave, I'm going to topple over. A very strong attachment to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you're ready, come sit over here.
What comes up for me is I love this. Something feels more seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a clarity kind of where there was a cloud in front of me.
Yes. Okay, so if you would just close your eyes and imagine yourself and anybody who's important in your life and tell them, this is my clarity.
This is my clarity,
And it's really always here.
and it's really always here.
Just see how it is to say that.
This is my clarity, and it's really always here. working with a new part of me.
Mhm.
I'm not sure new is the most accurate word,
Mhm.
but new to me right now in this moment.
Yes.
Here previously.
Mhm. So see what it's like to say to your clarity, I've been unfamiliar with you.
To your clarity,
Hmm.
I've been unfamiliar with you.
It's nice that we get to meet today.
It's nice that we get to meet today. You're my girl.
She said, "You're my girl." Beautiful, beautiful. And you just sit there and linger for a while and enjoy that for a minute. So, wow. A sense of cloudiness and went to clarity. It's beautiful. So you can just ignore what I'm saying back here. And that one of the interesting things is that biologic polarities are necessary for life. Our bodies are continually creating electrical polarities and collapsing them, and that's how cells move and make energy. But these polarities are different, and we want to collapse the ones that our own subconscious programming creates. And then somehow cloudiness can change into clarity. It's kind of beautiful.
It would be nice to feel this beautiful clarity all the time.
Yes, yes, so y'all can start your relationship now. And yes,
I'm in a new relationship with clarity.
yes, write a love letter to clarity. Send her a Valentine. Whatever feels good. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
For holding space.
Yes, so
Everyone.
welcome. Yeah, thanks everybody for holding
Thank
space
you.
for this. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Good to see you. And if anybody else would like to do a polarity, or we can switch to a different way of working with polarities if you like.
I can try.
Okay. We can go over that one, or we can switch to another game that everybody can. Well, it's actually a game. It's not a. It's a little exercise, or someone else may want to work with a polarity. I'm going to get a sip of tea while y'all decide. You sit in the chair and you go, you know, or God, you're on me, you know. Stop it, stop it. Yeah. It'll be an important issue, important enough that you know.
Oh, so what you're saying is, we can do the same exercise
Sure.
on any polarity or anything that is
That's
confronting
that's
us, stillness,
significant
whatever.
for you. Yeah.
Because I had several.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about what I might have to say. Just go ahead and
Just what comes
say
out.
something and then
Yeah.
get on that other chair
Yes.
and respond.
Yes.
You gave us an idea.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to how you feel, and if you start feeling like yourself, you go back to that chair.
Yeah, like
And then go back.
if I'm walking through life and I'm feeling pretty good, I'd rather watch Netflix at night than do this. You know? I mean, really. I mean, you know, this is if something really, really strong is happening. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you'll know then. It'll be real clear what you need to say.
Well, you
You
don't
could
really
just be
want
laying there crying, you know, or you know?
Well, you definitely want to do this, you know, as if you're trying to, you know, be calm and be happy and know how to better, you know,
So
deal with things.
the way this works is the goal is not to be calm or happy. The goal is to express to the perceived enemy everything I feel. The calmness and happy is a byproduct of being honest toward this other, right? So I don't ever do this to feel calm or happy. That's not the goal, right? I do this to be honest with this one. This one that I do not want in my life the way they are. They need to be different than they are. They need to stop doing this to me. You know, the world would be a better place if you weren't here, you know? Yeah. And then when I sit in their chair, calmness and happy happens. But if I start with the goal of being calm and happy, well, I can just sit in my chair and flick a Netflix and be calm and happy.
Not really, not
Yeah,
if you have
so-
illness.
So if you have an enemy, do it. If you don't have an enemy, don't do it.
I personally would like to see, like right now this time in Texas, the mandates getting lifted,
Mhm.
right? And I can already feel that that's gonna create tension, right? And so I'm just curious, like I would like to see.
Get in the chair.
No, you get in the chair.
Yeah, if somebody has a beef against the bureaucracy, feel free to come sit up here and give a bureaucrat the chair. They're taking everything else, you know, so give them the chair.
Richard,
Mhm.
I just want to clarify something that really helped me.
Mhm.
Is that we're letting the subconscious be heard.
Yeah.
So our subconscious is part of a collective subconscious.
Mhm.
So when it's heard,
Yes.
then
It
I
helps
just-
shift, it helps shift
it helps
everybody in the
shift
group when you did that.
projection
And
and
probably
perception.
beyond, yes.
Okay.
It's a good service, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So,
we're all
so when we
connected
think
there.
of an enemy, when you realize that,
And it's a perceived enemy, let me say that, right, yeah.
okay.
We're just trying
And
to
it could
shift the
be, and it could be
perception.
really real, so
Mhm.
you may have to do this a lot until it's gone.
So the goal is not for it to be gone. So if I have that as a goal, that's gonna be in my way. I don't even want a tumor to be gone. If that's my goal, it's gonna get in the way. What I want to do is be honest from my heart with whatever this is. And then the consequences of that are healing, peace, joy, whatever. But if I want something to be gone, that's my starting place. Get out of my life. If I had the strength, I would kill you. I would wring your fucking neck. Right? And then come sit over here, and it's like, wow,
Oh, it was.
I'm not going anywhere. You know? Like you don't even scare me at all. You know? And I'm going to stay as long as I want. What do you think about that? And then I have all my power back, right? And so I can just stay right here in my power and tell everybody, you know, I do what I want. I have my power back. I'm going to walk my path. Don't care what this one's yelling at me. I don't even hear it.
How do you become your enemy then?
What's that?
You're becoming your enemy.
And that's the Jesus thing, right? Love your enemy. And when a person loves their enemy, all kinds of miraculous things happen. But as long as I despise something, whatever I resist persists.
And accepting your enemy too?
You can do that if you want. All I'm saying is in this process, we want to be as clear and as forceful as we can about honestly how we feel. You're threatening my life. And that is a fact. And if I had the power to kill you, I would do it right this minute. The only reason you're alive is because I can't kill you. That's the only reason you're alive. And and then I come and sit over here and I'm going, "Huh, I was alive a long time before you were, I'm totally cool with whatever you think, but I'm sitting right here. I ain't going no place. But in your particular configuration, you got your power back when this one was gone already. So take that. I'm reenacting what I would be saying if I had something that somebody said was incurable. That's what I would be saying. In yours, you turned away and you were at peace. And you stay with that. That's beautiful.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do you find that people are saying the same types of things to whatever's in the chair? Like the same person would just be like, you have power over me. That's the common thread that's disrupting our happiness.
So Hal, the one that taught me, was a Toltec guy. So he believed in the Toltec wisdom. And in the Toltec wisdom, there are 4 voices. Who wants to be one of the 4 voices? Yeah, 4 volunteers. Stand up here, Greg, you can be one of the voices. Who else wants to be one of the 4 Toltec voices? Oh, Rosia's going to be one, you're going to be one. All right, y'all 4 stand up here.
Do you want to film this or not?
Sure, I mean, it's okay with them, because we're just
Okay.
playing. Yeah, go ahead and film it. Okay, so here's the deal. There are 4 voices that the Toltecs believe infected people's thinking, right? All right, of the 4 of y'all, who wants to be the voice of fear? All right, Greg's going to be the voice of fear. Who wants to be the voice of judgment? Voice of judgment. Who wants to be self-importance? The voice of self-importance. Rosia, that leaves you with self-pity. Okay, so if y'all would just move around as you will, and first we'll start with fear, and just walk around and see what comes to you to say to people. If you're the voice of fear, and it's your job to have people so scared that they can't focus on their own true self. That's your job. The Toltecs saw this as like a 4-headed parasite that lived in sort of the ethers. And those are the 4 voices that we're hearing when we're sitting in this chair letting somebody else have it. It's going to be one of those 4 voices.
So this is judgment and this is?
Yeah, she's self-importance. Yeah, you're self-pity. And
Arrogance, self-importance?
you could go with arrogance, yeah.
And then what's
And your judgment. And you might just walk around the room and pass some judgment. Just look at people and tell them, something's wrong with you. Say something scary to somebody, not too crazy, but, and,
Look at
and
them and see what fear or judgment you feel inside you, right?
yes.
Bring it out.
Yeah, and project it out. Get it all over everybody. And Hal used to do the Velcro thing around the head and the wrist, and whoever was self-pity walked around like this. If you just knew my story. Can you help me? If you just knew my story, right? And self-importance, man, come on, Rosia, you can. Nobody's more important than you.
Right, that's why I feel like,
Yeah.
walk around?
Sure, whoever volunteers, don't
like
push
we
it
need to
on
wear
anybody. If you're volunteering for the gang, let them know,
There's a virus that's going to kill you.
Okay.
You have to do. Oh, we're talking to people else you're not.
Yeah, you can say it to other people. Try to get them to help you, because it's just a pathetic story.
Dude, this was not supposed to happen to me.
Maybe get some money from them.
It's so unfair.
There's
And-
a disease,
Yeah.
and it is so
And if somebody-
dangerous that you
If
have
somebody
no
wants
power.
to,
Your
in the midst
body
of all
has
this
no power
craziness,
to
yeah,
defend itself.
if
against
somebody
it.
wants to sit in this chair,
Listen to what I say. You have to
we'll have
listen to what I
4
say.
voices talk to you.
Oh,
It sounds terrible, doesn't it? I wouldn't volunteer.
There's these guys that are white supremacists, and they are going to take.
You really should have done this.
Violent.
no, eso no es. Sí, yo sé, pero en la otra sí se quiere.
Creating such a dangerous.
Are you so far away?
that you should feel unsettled.
I just feel bigger than everyone.
Yeah, so tell everybody, I feel bigger than all of y'all.
Yeah, everybody's instant judgment.
Yeah,
One
you're
judgment.
less than her, yeah. So,
I feel
and those are the four things. What people hear.
like I'm really strong, like
Yeah,
Judgment
I
more
never need
spirit than
anyone.
that.
yeah, yeah. Who needs anybody? right?
Love your reiteration.
See if you can get some money out of these people. They don't know how pathetic your story is. Yeah. If they just knew,
Call me
they'd be giving you some money or something, you know? Please give me a hug, you know? Give me a place
I
to
don't
stay.
I don't want even walking around them.
Oh, I know,
Because
I
I just
know.
feel like, oh, it's
Their
me, I
energy
don't
might
need
get on
anyone.
you.
And the
Yeah.
truth is, I feel so low and so complete, I don't wanna ask, it's the point I don't wanna ask anybody.
You feel that low. I'm so low. I can't even ask for help.
I don't, yeah, exactly, I'm so low that there's nothing that can be done.
Well, I feel like your energy, Linda.
Okay, so everybody can sit back down if they want to. And if you want to tell how your experience was, anybody want to share?
Yeah, I feel like really big, like I don't need nothing from no one.
Yeah, she was so
Really
important.
arrogant,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is
Did,
less.
it felt kind of good?
No. I mean, now that it's me, I don't want to be that
You don't
person,
want
but
to be that.
when I
anymore.
was there, I was like, oh, it feels good to be big than anyone, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So that's one of the voices that we listen for when we start out. It's going to be a theme on one of those four voices. I'm either afraid of this one, I feel so much bigger than this one, I feel so much littler than this one, or this one's judging me. Yeah, so to be those. How was judgment?
It felt kind of uncomfortable. Also, I think some people weren't aware that we were doing this exercise. They were like, why are you saying this to me?
Yeah, sorry. It was kind of spontaneous and disorganized.
And I was
My
like,
apologies.
never mind, I take it back. As you were.
I just like
You're not running for
even
anything.
like her energy felt like gossip. Like if
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
yeah.
Like
I did
she
kind of
just-
feel like I was telling people a secret about themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
I loved
Yeah.
watching Judgment because like watching her criticize us with like the same body language, being like, you're not paying attention, you're paying too much attention. And then being like, why are you sitting back there? I was like, that is how that bitch in my head talks.
Yeah,
You know?
and they're like kind of discreet, you know?
Yeah.
Like she was very discreet.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
low. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's mean. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
It was great.
How was self-pity, Alfred?
Yeah, actually, I didn't want to tell the story, I was, this is like a low point to.
You just
for
felt
me.
kind of low.
Like
Yeah.
as if, I had given up.
Yeah, like nobody can help you, right? I mean, you're too low to be helped.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a lot of us, right? We've heard that voice. I'm too low to be helped. That's one of the themes we can hear over here. Whenever I see you, I feel too low to be helped, right? Yeah. So, thank you all for participating in that response to
Which one were you?
your question.
For fear.
Fear. Okay.
Oh, how was fear?
Well, it's projecting disempowerment and malice. Actually, it's really a way. It's a really harmful way to take power away. And it's,
How did your body feel when you were doing it?
It's not true.
Yeah, but did you feel stronger
It's
or weaker
inauthentic.
than your usual self?
Yeah, it felt inauthentic.
Yeah, okay. He's a real honest guy, you know. I could play the voice of fear and kind of feel bigger than everybody. Telling them, you know, scaring them like I was the older cousin. Used to scare the little cousins with bedtime stories, you know. Yeah. Okay.
You really get into it.
Yes.
He was always a little bit reserved
Yes.
about telling his fear. I mean, it'd
Yes.
be better to have somebody who's really good at telling stories.
Yeah, Greg's he's a really centered guy.
Did she give hers?
Oh, yes, she
Yeah,
did. She said she felt so much bigger than everybody. She didn't even want to get close to y'all's energy.
I know.
You know, like,
Yeah.
really, I need a red carpet, tiara. No, we're the only people need to get out of my way.
Yeah, I feel like I can just be in the middle and just watching everyone, but I'm just like, oh. I don't want even to look at them.
Yeah, all these peasants sitting around.
Richard, you mentioned that we wanted to do this exercise because of this, the person that did this, showed you this.
Mhm.
They were Toltec?
So this is the Toltec wisdom. You can read that stuff like the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and
So good.
that's a Toltec wisdom book. But the Toltecs saw this thing that troubles us as a parasite that lived in another realm, and it had like 4 heads, 4 different voices, and those voices were somehow in the mind. They weren't in the body or the heart or the soul, but they somehow got in the mind. And they were troubling to deal with. And my friend Hal discovered this is one way to deal with it. Be that voice. Express it toward this other person, and then when you sit there, everything comes back in alignment. So,
Can I add an observation?
yes.
When I'm in this chair here with one of the 4 heads or all 4
Mm-hmm.
going, I'm expressing my anger, my fear, my inferiority, something. But exactly what you said, my powerlessness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a victim.
Yes.
And only victims can be attacked.
Yeah.
So when I step into the other position where I gave all my power to, I regain my power
Yes.
to neutralize or depolarize
Yes.
the victimization. And when I learn I'm not a victim, I cannot be attacked by anything or anyone or any situation or any tumor or any life situation. So I'm either sitting as a victim, feeling attacked and being attacked, or I'm sitting in power,
Mm-hmm.
feeling wholeness.
Yes. Thank you.
Not better than someone, right? I just feel
Right.
whole.
Just feeling whole,
And so
which
I think
is
it's
what we saw.
beautiful to, how you allow us to sit in that chair and make, we all felt like the wholeness. And just sit with the wholeness.
Yes. Yes.
As long
It's
as
our
we can.
birthright wholeness. And anything else is not really true.
Yeah,
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you for that.
thank you.
I like the way
Thank
you
you.
said that. All right, I shall conclude today and leave this with Mariah.
Thank you.
Whenever I came into the room, like in a really just like maybe messy emotional space, and I love being in community because it brings out that curiosity and that like just deep interest in psychology, and so I feel very like happy and curious.
I'm really grateful for the deep space and the wisdom and the summary was perfect for me to feel that sense that how we give our power away and we're the victim, and just to see and witness the vulnerability that everybody was able to go to helped for my connection to and feeling that. So I'm all about regaining the power.
Even though it's uncomfortable, I love vulnerability. And I'm just sitting here integrating with clarity, suddenly aware of the amount of power and energy I've given to chaos in my life, and that I don't need this like distractor implant around anymore. So yay for clarity.
This is a tool, and that I would love, and I like tools that are very practical that you could use every day that move you towards navigating through this world more at peace, therefore being able to emit calmness so that you're not so reactive, and so you can keep. I think power is when you do feel a sense of calmness. And that's what I felt in that chair. I just suddenly felt calm, and it's so much better to navigate through life when you're feeling calm. And so I definitely want to really explore these tools and this way of thinking.
I feel like I had a lot of sensations in my body as I watched other people in the chair, so I must have probably absorbed and benefited from that process. And I think it was really humbling to see people's physical reactions to such strong, polarities. And also to not feel alone, that we all have so much that we have to confront, but that confronting it won't destroy you, that you can look at it and pass it.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very grateful for everyone that shared and let us kind of just be in a space with you while you were really getting very vulnerable and confronting things that you probably don't get to express a lot. Yeah, I had a lot of very strong physical, emotional reactions to complete strangers and their experiences, which I got a lot from that and learned a lot from this experience. So just feeling really grateful.
I was pretty blown away also, just how much I was feeling in my body as other people were sharing. Yeah, I'm very grateful to have learned this tool. Probably going to do it tonight. It's funny, judgment came over, and at the beginning I said my intention was to be vulnerable, and I did not get up and share, so I guess I need to work on that. But
There's still an opportunity.
next.
I'd like to express, I love to see so many young people doing this, because it gives me, I don't want to use the word hope, but it just inspires me, the young generation. And of course, those that are more mature. It's great that we're here. I have always a little bit of problem with the constellations and these kind of activities when I hear that happy people don't need to constellate or to do such exercises, because then I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it, and then like, oh, I'm supposed to be happy. And so I get a little bit like in between, I guess, so I start to feel like I'm in denial a lot, because I'm like, whatever happens, happens, like I'm happy, so I shouldn't do this exercise, but, so that but is what I'm trying to get rid of. Like, because I do feel like I'm pretty happy, regardless of what happens. So I'm a little bit confused there a little bit, but it's cool, it's all good.
I mean, I feel, just to respond to you, I feel happy daily in my life, but I have these underlying issues that I have to deal with. So I had never really confronted it in that way. That was interesting. Gave me some power, I think. But I don't know. I think that, I don't know, I don't think I can ever be fully happy. And I'm never going to be fully depressed either. I mean, I'm just always some kind of a mixture of things, and I accept that as well. Like, never going to be perfect, but I'm going to be good, I think, if I keep working at it.
Well, I just feel like I was curious about it, that's why I came at first. And then I learned that everybody would have struggles in life, and to watch this, the opposite of the chair is like, everybody's saying, it's like a tool, kind of like to help you not to run away from the problem, but to face it. It's just like, even if it bothers us, but we have to like go forward, like, I got this, I mean, I want to be on the other side too, so to see how it feels to be on the other side of the coin, not just like judge, I don't like it, or, and to face it, like, and that's why I'm here. I like it, and I learn a lot. And I love to learn as much as I can every day, even if it's just like a word or a recipe, but to learn it's just amazing.
Contrast is a beautiful teacher, if we allow it. to me, like the polarity is just the separation, and the lie of separation is what underpins everything that prevents us from being experiencing self-love and acceptance, which comes and goes. And so to experience the unity above the duality, I think, is where we're moving in humanity. And it's a blessing that we get to see ourselves. The Toltecs believe that the world is our mirror. So if we see something that irritates us, it's a blessing for us. And if we see something that is separate from us, then we can become one with it. And we can't stay in a state of clarity all the time. It wouldn't be very interesting. Air conditioning is really nice in the summer. And we're really mostly grateful for it because we experience the contrast and duality.
Well, I'm first and foremost grateful for everyone for holding space and participating. I think to feel this safe is really special and rare, especially in adulthood. So thank you, everyone. And I think the things that stick out to me, I loved the imagery from the idea of a parasite, the Toltec, the 4 bodies. Thank you all for demonstrating those. And then the 2 other nuggets that stick with me is that sense of wholeness and just the thought that it's right there in the other chair and it's not that far away. And then also that is our birthright. Those were memorable pieces for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, that we are whole. We just have erroneous beliefs that are so justifiable. And we could just let go of the justification and be whole.
And one other observation, which is that in the last year I've become aware of how our politics are so unhealthy, deeply unhealthy, not just A versus B, but fundamentally everything is screwed up. And I feel like, I don't know whether this technique like this would help us to deal with that, but we aren't dealing with it really well. And we need to.
Come play with us Monday night.
What time?
We do some political constellations that sneaky little Miss Stephanie will have us thinking it's a family. We'll be standing in for the coronavirus or some politician and don't even know it. And so we do that at 5:30 in the Alma room on Monday nights. And we go till about 9:30. Typically there's 4 different constellations. It's free to come in and observe or participate. And just to let you know that. And thank you for bringing that up. I mean, we could stay here all night if everybody did their polarity around the politicians. That's always juicy stuff. Thank you all for coming today so much.